The innate method. The innate method can be described with a basic principle, a diagnostic tool, and healing technique. We start out with the basic principle and take an example. A child falls and hits himself. It is a loss of control. This loss of control is simultaneously transmitted telepathically. The body receives and reacts. If someone is there and takes care of the child immediately and comforts him, he will soon be up and running, happy and smiling again. The body receives a new message, control is restored. But if the incident happens when the child is alone in the street, surrounded by strangers, he will most likely run all the way through the town, crying, expecting to gain control nowhere but home. Being comforted, the fall leaves no trace. But if the child does not regain control immediately after the fall, if it does not feel safe and comforted, if the body does not get the message that control is restored within seconds, then the control loss remains in the body as a not resolved conflict. It does not matter that your child is safe at home now. It does not matter that you have become 80 plus years old. The subconscious record has to be nullified. The older you get, the more physical such an unresolved problem becomes until it presents itself as a chronic illness. The basic principle behind this is described in stress theory. Any conflict is met by the body with a fight or flight response. It empowers the body with all its strength to solve the problem here and now. The price, however, is that as long as the conflict lasts, life is on hold. As tensions in the body prohibits healthy flow of nutrients and waste, body tissues turn toxic. We suffer and die from chronic illnesses. The diagnostic tool. Our diagnostic tool consists of telepathy and a protocol. Through telepathic communication with the subconscious, we can reach beyond time and space. We can access Napoleon's mother on Corsica back in 1769 and ask her how it was to carry the tiny emperor. A protocol helps us ask adequate questions. Without the protocol, we will rely on good intuition or blind luck only. But as practice shows, knowing some specific facts leads us to a quick release and to stored negative feelings. It pays off to incorporate such checkpoints in a protocol. Some of these crucial facts are age, other persons involved, if it's a state, reoccurrence, or an event, if it's physical, emotional, mental, if it's done or still ongoing. Through skilled use of telepathy and a fine-tuned protocol, we are able to paint a picture of what happened. This is not so much about dates and names that are useful in a criminal court, but rather how it was experienced. Most importantly, it is about which feelings got stuck. Healing trauma. With a good picture of what caused the problem, we proceed to the healing part. For the healing to happen, the basic feelings have to be rewritten by sending a message that nullifies the original one about loss of control. What we want to achieve is a state that supports a happy and thriving life. This is the intention on which we focus, as we do not want to demand a specific outcome other than a happy and thriving life, which, by the way, is the driving force in all of life. The intention must come from a state of unconditional love. As the conflict is over, the body happily receives the message. Control is restored. You can return to a healing state. Practically, we can say that we melt the frozen negative feelings. As a concept, we can frame it focused, loving, intentional attention, which, by the way, is telepathy. To get rid of a problem, we simply have to do what should have happened back then. If the child had been comforted immediately, no record of control loss would ghost in the subconscious. It is important to remember, this conflict is long gone. The pain is gone. In the most, there is a scar left. It was the child who experienced the fall, not the adult years later. From now on, the adult may empathically embrace the child he was back then and give the comfort that would have been necessary back then so that the child could have regained control immediately. So I, as the adult, embrace the child I was back then and do what the mother would have done if she had been there. I comfort the child, taking into account all the feelings that came to light through the diagnosis. I comfort the child until the basis for these humiliating feelings no longer exist. This will reset the forgotten record in the subconscious. The tensions in the body tissue that were necessary for the defense are now released. The tissue can finally become properly supplied with blood, detoxified, and revitalized again.